Hey everyone, I'm Prez. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome back to Cabrillo, our beautiful city set in Northern California. We're going to be moving away from Cabrillo, the neighborhood we built in the last episode, and we're going to be moving back over to the campus, the UC Cabrillo campus that we built a couple episodes ago. And we're going to be moving up into the hills and building a extension of the campus and also a new community nearby and a sports campus, revealing the name of the sports team, which you might have seen on the thumbnail. But Inspiration Station here, we're looking at the stadium at UC Berkeley, how it's kind of nestled into both the neighborhoods and the hills here kind of behind campus, as a little bit of inspiration here, and then also how there are some sports fields up on Centennial Drive, and then up on the hillside here, only accessible on that drive there, which you could use a shuttle to get here, but it's basically where all the research laboratories are. We're gonna have something, I guess, kind of similar up in the hills. It'll have different purposes, though. Then we're also looking at the streetcar suburbs that I've shown you throughout the rest of the Bay Area, East Bay, and just this really awesome livable density. We're going to be building a new corridor. Well, it's going to be an extension of the Cabrillo's corridor that we built in the last episode, where that avenue kind of comes up in here into the town of Morgan. And we're going to be kind of extending that. It's going to be called Alameda Avenue. We'll look at that in a moment. But for now, we're beginning the stadium. This is going to be called the Clapper Stadium because the sports team, we've got a name here, folks. So I was kind of thinking something along the lines of Cabrillo Cubs or Cabrillo something related to Bears, because Berkeley and UCLA follow that theme. But a lot of folks wanted a really unique name for the sports team, because there are a couple UCs that have super unique names for their sports teams, like UC Irvine, which is in Orange County, has the Anteaters, and then there's UC Santa Cruz, which I'm not even joking right now. Like their sports team, it's called the Banana Slugs. Like University of California, well-renowned Banana Slugs. It's wonderful. It's great. So Scott reached out to me and with a full design and name for the sports team, which I couldn't really resist. It was excellent, and that's the Clapper Rails. Clapper Rails are a endangered species in Northern California, and it's a wonderful looking bird, and they are the name of the sports team for UC Cabrillo. And I'm imagining it. The campus used to have their mascot be the Cabrillo Cubs, but that it changed actually over time. Once the campus wanted to differentiate itself from other UCs and have its own identity, and it went for something a little quirkier that also got at its history of promoting environmental conservation. So I think this name is really excellent. So thanks, Scott, for that. But seriously, the design for this is just superb, and I really can't wait to show you what this looks like in game, because Seabuds also made some flags for us to place in game. And banners, and with this Clapper Rail logo, and I am just so thankful to Scott and Seabud for really bringing this campus to life, because it would be a totally different story without these flags and the mascot and the logo, and it's just super cool. And I really can't wait to show you later in the episode what that looks like in game, because that'll be further towards the end of the episode. But I just wanted to show you what that actually looks like right now, because it really will bring the campus to life in a totally different way than any other campus I've had in the past. Maybe even in the future we could get like a Clapper shuttle or Clapper bus, emblems, or like a bus paint scheme for the shuttle bus that kind of takes people up the hill. Which you'll see in a little bit, like various small things like that. But for now, like having a flag and a very coherent logo and story for the mascot it's I've never had that before in game, and it really feels like it's bringing the city to life. I think you'll really enjoy it once you see it later. But for now, we are kind of just doing other stuff. We worked on the Alameda Avenue corridor a little bit. We'll work more on that in a moment, but I'm kind of starting to build houses in the hillside here. I'm using these Laguna homes by Licho that were built for Calavera Beach, but then I never really used them as extensively as I wanted to, because I ended that series a little early. But I am using them tons here, and I know $2.20 has been using them recently, and I'm really glad they're finally getting used. So, Alicia, sorry it took me a while to like fully use these. I did make a couple episodes of California Beach where I used them, but it really is great to see them come into full use here in Cabrillo, because I think they're perfect. Because you kind of saw the Berkeley Hills neighborhoods that I showed you in Inspiration Station. Like the hillsides are very developed in the East Bay, or at least on the side closer to the urbanized populations. The other side is watershed and natural preserves. So it's I'm just trying to communicate that here as well. So we're going to have pretty developed hillsides in a lot of areas. It's not like every single hillside was preserved, which will also mean there's a lot of fire risk in certain parts of the city because they're open hillsides that can get dry, and there's been development there. So maybe we can talk in the future about the history of kind of building on hillsides and whether it's actually a good thing, and whether the fire risk is worth it for the public. We could explore all those themes in the future, though. I want to kind of keep this episode's scope to more just the campus culture and the surroundings, because right now we're building Alameda Avenue, which is kind of a more because the Cabrillo itself is kind of upper class, like professors live there. It's or not Cabrillo, Morgan is the town where the campus is. That's more upper class, where professors live, and Cabrillo's got lower Cabrillo and upper Cabrillo, as you saw in the last episode, where wealthier people live in the hills, and you'll have more working class folks of mixed nationalities further down, and there's a similar story here. These neighborhoods are definitely not poor down here, but all these neighborhoods on the flatlands, they are working class, and you'll notice a lot of mixed zoning, mixed densities, and it looks like a really interesting area, and it's very vibrant along this streetcar corridor, which actually next episode we're going to have buses on. We're going to have buses in Cabrillo in the next episode. I know it's been a long time. They're going to be arriving in the next video, and I cannot wait to show you, because they're custom buses, and it's so cool. But so stay tuned for that. That'll be out on Sunday. I'm recording this right now on a Wednesday, getting this video up on Thursday. I apologize for not uploading a video this past Sunday. I was busy, and I wanted to just try to live my life a little bit. But I'm repaying you with a double upload this week, which I'll do sometimes, and hopefully you enjoy that. Because the next episode's going to be great as well. It's some very requested stuff going on there. And I also wanted to thank you all for all your support and suggestions in the comments. The suggestions truly are useful, and whether you put them in the comments or on Discord or tweet them at me, I'll, if I find something interesting, I'll keep it around. Like a lot of the time they're duplicate suggestions. So like when somebody suggests is built, I don't credit them specifically, so apologies for that. Just a lot of people suggest similar things, which, by the way, if you see a suggestion you like in the comments for a build or something to explore in the city, just thumbs up in the comment, because then I'll see it. I'll see all the comments, but I'll really see that you want me to work on that. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm all over the place right now, but I forgot to mention with the Clapper Rail mascot, I've actually switched out, because I'm limited with the amount of emojis I can give to YouTube members. Because YouTube members, by the way, I haven't really advertised this too much, but you can become a member rather than a patron, and you get some of the benefits that patrons get, basically like early access to videos, your name in the credits. But you can also get, access to the members only Discord channel, but you can also get emojis to put in the chat when I do a premiere or a live stream, and also in the comment section. But I'm actually limited to the amount of emojis that I can allow you to have, just by the amount of members I have, and currently I have 6 emojis available to me. So I kind of switched them out intermittently for what's topical. So I've changed them a little bit, but now we've got currently, at least when I'm recording this video, we have the Clapper Rail mascot emojis. So you can just hit the join button below the video and check that out and see if you're interested, because it'd be cool to get some UC Cabrillo pride here in the premiere and in the comment section. And yeah, I mean, I wish I could just give the emojis to everybody. That'd be really cool, but that's, I mean, giving them to YouTube members is kind of the best I can do. Another thing I figured maybe we could explore as we're expanding the campus into the hills, which, by the way, this is all, I mean, other than these dorms that I'm building right here, this is all going to be pretty new development that happened in the last probably 40 years. As the campus needed to expand, it ran out of space. They kind of built this campus on, or new part of campus on the hillside with sports fields and museums, and there's going to actually be an arena up there. Definitely different from what's going on at Berkeley. But while we're doing this, I want to explore a story that Nicholas suggested in the comments of the initial video building UC Cabrillo for a story behind the main street in the town of Morgan, which, as you might remember, has pride flags everywhere, and it's a very lively street. But I wanted to explore this story, which is, I think the story of Morgan, and this is Nicholas's comment here, I think the story of Morgan should be something like this. Morgan was at first just called a small town called Redwood Stump, an uncreative name for a town that lived off the timber industry. The town started getting more developed over the years and becoming a small city by the 1860s. In the 1870s, Anthony J. Morgan, a nationally recognized university professor, arrived and founded UC Cabrillo. He had very conservative views, and he showed that in his classes. When he died in 1878, the town, in commemoration, changed its name to honor the professor. Fast forward many years to the 1950s. The town had kept many of the conservative principles the university had taught over the years until the gay student of political science, Jim Liu, came to the university. The discrimination of people from different races and sexualities faced in the campus angered him to the point where he started a massive protest movement in the main road leading to the train station. They protested every day for many weeks until the protests finally caught the attention of bigger political figures such as the California Department of Education, who faced the issues concerned and started promoting a more inclusive campus at UC Cabrillo. This started influencing the whole town over the years, the town of Morgan, which similarly to the university, started becoming more artistic and inclusive. Finally, in 1979, as a symbol of modernity from the town, the mayor decided to put up rainbow flags in the sidewalks and of the main street, which he also renamed Liu Street in honor of the student who started the manifestation. So really amazing and detailed suggestion here from Nicholas, and I love this story. And I'm just thinking about, I mean, it really makes total sense for the history of UC Cabrillo. If you remember, UC Cabrillo's also got a really rich history of public art, and the campus is covered in murals, the town's covered in murals. There's a story of an old professor coming to town and getting just completely angered by students, just putting art everywhere, making everything look disorganized, and the students completely embraced it. They loved it, and this old disgruntled professor was not quite a fan. And so the students have clearly transcended the conservative values of Anthony Morgan, founding the university, which, this is 1870s. We're imagining Anthony Morgan founded the university because it kind of makes sense. UC Berkeley was founded, way back then as well. This is one of the older UC campuses, but it definitely hasn't expanded as much as UC Berkeley has, for example. But other than that, I mean, I think the dedicating the street with pride flags in 1979 might be a little early historically for that. Like, I understand this is a very inclusive town, but even then, it's putting pride flags everywhere sounds like a stretch in 1979. Let me know what you think in the comments, though. It doesn't really matter that much for the history of the city. It's just, those pride flags are permanently there on the main streets there of Morgan. Yeah, I mean, I think this story is excellent. So thank you so much to Nicholas for suggesting that, and for everybody who upvoted that, to, second it, which is another reason why you can upvote comments from other people, because it lets me know that you agree. Yeah, okay, so we've really established UC Cabrillo's history now, and I really like it. I think it follows this, because California's history is not a history of inclusion and diversity. It really, I mean, at least in its early days, it was really a settler enterprise. Like California was, I mean, first the Spanish, and then Yankees from the Northeast, or whatever you want to call them, kind of coming in and claiming a place that, you know, they definitely don't have a historical claim to as their own. And there were a lot, like, you know, there were a lot of people who are, you'd be surprised would be very, so influential in California, but it really is largely because of immigration from Mexico and other places throughout the world that have made California so progressive in our present moment, arguably, and it hasn't always been like that. So I really think including the story of the first, you know, professor who started the university, Anthony Morgan, being very conservative, that makes sense. That makes sense for the campus, and it's really interesting to look at how the town's adapted to that fact over time and created a whole new identity for itself, like so much of California has. And here we're looking at the kind of more working class area in, you know, along Alameda Avenue, which is this commercial corridor that we built, which connects all the way up to downtown Cabrillo. There's going to be a bus corridor going down here in the next episode, actually. I really can't wait to show you. We're going to have a bus line. And this used to have a streetcar on it, obviously. You could really tell from the urban form here, these low setback buildings close to the street. So I just realized that I don't actually have the recording for me placing all the banners and flags throughout campus with the Clappers mascot and logo on them, but you can see them here. This is what they look like on the Clapper Stadium. They look awesome, and you can see them kind of above the cafeteria sign over there as well, kind of vaguely, but they're going to be, well, you'll see more in a moment. This is what it looks like kind of going up the hillside. You can kind of see the arena in the background there, and some of this hill is supposed to be kind of mixed age buildings. Like these dorms are kind of older, but there are also some more like, you know, middle of the century buildings in there. And then we've got all this development up in the hills, which is definitely prone to wildfires and in danger from those. But other than that, it's very beautiful. And then there's some museums for the public and probably some research centers in here as well. And then also an arena, and there's parking for it up there because most people will probably drive up there. But there is a campus shuttle, the Clapper bus or Clapper shuttle, kind of figuring out what that's going to be called. But wow, this hillside really does integrate the area so well. And you got hiking trails, mountain bikers can use the trails. It's really cool. And yes, it does look this grassy and empty on a lot of hillsides in the East Bay. And yes, these Cabrillo Clapper flags look so cool. Like, look at these. The banners, they're amazing. You'll see them more as time goes on. Sorry, I lost the recording for like placing those, but they are as good as I expected them to be. They're stupendously good. So thanks to Seabud and Scott for making those possible. And I was thinking maybe we could make merch out of those and other stuff like the Cabrillo flag. The channel logo may be just something that's saying build a military base. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in buying merch that's like Clapper rails, Cabrillo flag, anything like that. Just various stuff that identifies you with the channel. I think it'd be really cool to see people just like tweet "Go Clappers" in their, you know, in their shirt with a virtual sports team logo that doesn't actually exist for a fake UC campus here. That'd be really just cool to see that. I don't know if people actually buy merch, so I haven't actually made merch on the channel, but let me know in the comments because that'd be awesome if you're actually interested. And I'd be totally down to do that. But it is time to close out. I really hope you enjoy these cinematics, though, because I like these. They're really wide, and they just show the vastness of this campus. I love what we did here. I think the hillsides are looking pretty legit now. This looks like Northern California. I would totally live here. Anyway, quick shout out to some patrons. We've got somebody with a name that I can neither read nor pronounce, so that's on the screen, but thank you for being a patron. Samuel Liu, Michael Slaughter, Logan De Hoyos, and Carl Nall. Thank you all so much for being patrons. I really appreciate it. If you want to download the save game or get access to videos early or anything like that, you can become a patron. Regardless, though, thanks so much for watching so far, and I'll see you in the next episode of Cabrillo this Sunday, actually. So see you then.